Welcome back to Excel 2016 tutorial. Now we get to the fun part. Now we get to the part where we have to enter data into Excel as well as manipulate those data. This is where Excel stands out from every other Microsoft application. So we are going to create an imaginary company, a bookstore. We are going to call it Treasure Notes. Our company is called Treasure Notes. How quaint. Anyways, now we're going to enter the items that we sell in the store. What do we have in the store? We have books, because it's a bookstore. We have toys. Many bookstores carry toys now. We have t-shirts. What else do we find in a bookstore? How about printing papers? Gifts. Okay, these are enough for now. So now the next step is to determine how much these items are sold. What is the price? For the sake of this tutorial, we're going to assume that we are only selling one kind of book, one kind of toy, one type of t-shirt, and one specific type of printing papers, and just one type of gift. So the price is going to be similar for all books, similar for all toys, similar for t-shirts and all the other items. So for books, how about we say it is $12? Okay, all right, it says 12. How do we make that into currency? In order to do that, there are two ways to do it. The first way is to right click on it and hit format cell, and here you can go down to currency. You can see it is being pre-formatted here. This is the sample what you get, $12 with the dollar sign, and here you have how many decimal places after the actual amount. Here it says 2 decimal places. So we're just going to go ahead and click OK, so you see what we mean. Okay, so how about the toys? Toys are going to be $11. Again, the same thing happens. So you know what, we can't keep going back and forth to change the number to currency. So what we are going to do is to make sure we pre-format this whole cell. Whenever we enter a number, Excel will know that we are talking about currency. So let's do that using the other tools under the Home tab. If we go to this general, click on the drop down menu and find currency, there you have it. So now if we enter the price for t-shirts, which is $14, automatically it becomes $14. We didn't have to go through that process again. What about printing papers? Let's say that's $24, and gift, let's say that's $18. Okay, now there are a couple of things we need to take note of here, and one is the fact that, let's make this a little bit bigger. One is the fact that, first of all, you see the text Treasure Notes runs across column A and B. The reason is because we do not have any text here in B1. If we decide to type something here now, maybe anything, you see that B1 will has its own text, but the text running from A1 will become invisible in some part. So let me delete that. So how do we make these changes? We can increase column A to accommodate the length of Treasure Notes. And as you can see, printing papers, which was also hidden some parts, has also been made visible. We can do that. All right. And the other thing we can do, let me just go back for a little bit. The other thing we can do is to put our cursor in the line between A and B and then double click. I always prefer to use the other method. Let me undo that. I always prefer to use the method of actually holding and shifting the line because to me it is more precise. I said this is a bookstore, so Treasure Notes bookstore. However, we only type Treasure Notes here. In order to make changes to the text, I can click on it and start to type. It will wipe out whatever I had in there before, but that's not what I want, so let me undo that. What I want to do is to edit it. So there is a shortcut for that, and it's the F2 button. By pressing the F2 button, I can begin to type and by adding bookstore. So now we have bookstore. All right, so that is how to edit that by using the F2 key. All right, so we have the name of our bookstore, we have our items, and we have the price for each item. So what is the duration of our sales? So we're looking at the first 4 months of the year. How about we look at month 1? Now I can keep on typing month 2, month 3, month 4, but there's another way I can do that, and I'm going to use something called autofill. So watch this. If I put my cursor here right now, look at the cursor very carefully. The cursor is a white fat cross, or fat white cross, English. But if I put my cursor right on the cusp of that, on the edge of that little square, it changes to the black cross. Once I have that, I click and hold and drag, see, month 2, month 3, and month 4. There you have it. So instead of me having to type month 1, month 2, month 3, I just have to use the autofill to fill out the remaining months. This works because Excel knows that after month 1 or number 1, the next number is 2, and the next number is 3, and so on and so forth. So now let's enter the other data to reflect how much we are selling for each of these items in these 4 months. Okay, all right, welcome back. I've been able to enter the data we need for this lesson. As you can see, these are the data for each of the months, month 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the task for this lesson is to sum these numbers. How much for the first month, the second month, the third month, and the fourth month? How much was this? So we can use a simple formula called the auto sum. By clicking on the cell that I want the total number to appear, I can click on that cell, and if I go to my home tab and go over to the right hand side, there is a formula called auto sum. If I click on it, Excel selects all the numbers. This is always fascinating to me. It knows exactly what numbers to select or what cells to include in the summation. It did not include cell C3 because that is not part of what we want to calculate. All right, so the next thing to do is to just press the enter key. By pressing the enter key, Excel actually calculates the total number of sales for month 1. So let's do the same for month 2. There is another way to do this, and that is by clicking on the cell that you want to start from and holding your cursor, hold it down and drag and get to the cell where you want the total number to appear. In this case, cell D9. So now if I go ahead and click the auto sum key, Excel puts the number, calculates it, and puts the number in that specific cell that was empty just before the numbers. So I've shown you 2 ways of doing this. You can just click on the cell where you want the total number to appear and click auto sum. Excel will do the selection for you, or you can select the cells yourself. All right, but we don't want to do that for every summation that we want to do. Since we've already had some calculations done, we can go back to our favorite tool and use the autofill. So if I drag this now to the right, I autofill for month 3 and I autofill for month 4. There you go. So now we have the total for month 1, month 2, month 3, and month 4.